Spread out my hands and free. I just feel it deep in my soul. Good vibes and energy. Nothing no bother me. No.
Observe.
I just want to scream. Spread out my hands and free. I just feel it deep in my soul. Good vibes and energy. Nothing no bother me. No.
Observe.
Pleasant good evening and welcome once again to another episode of The Observer with yours truly, Mikey K, right here on Gaia TV, streaming of course on social media and on Real Media TT as well. So when you get the link, share. This evening we have economist Dr. Indira Sajawan and radio talk show host Heavy will be on our program this evening. Hey folks, don't forget our bodies are under stress from environmental toxins to work stress to poor food choices and low nutrients in the food we eat. Our bodies are under a lot of stress. All of these can lead to high inflammation levels. Excessive inflammation can lead to a large number of health problems that cause pain and damage to the body. Omega-3 fatty acids help the body reduce inflammation, and Omega-XL provides the health benefits of many fatty acids, including Omega-3s. For the reduction of inflammation in the body, it is one of the most powerful, all-natural, anti-inflammatory supplements on the market today. And we'll be having some samples for you for some other new products soon, right here on The Observer. But go on, get out there and get your bottle of Omega-XL and all the other XL products. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we kick things off right here on The Observer.
Brand delivers quality service.
I would recommend Omega XL to everyone.
Take care of yourself, take care of your health with Omega XL.
If Omega XL works for me, it will work for you.
Over a period of time, I started feeling stronger in my knee where I could add more pressure.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Laqua Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now 267-0000 or 431-0012. Laqua Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Oh gosh, this place hot and the AC in this car not working.
Check Ryanair. Ryanair is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 Kane Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryanair. Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable and innovative products, tested and proven by generations of professionals. Full after sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact Provar Distributors Limited, 223-9438 to find a dealer near you.
Limiting chronic inflammation is important for so many conditions that occur.
I had a lot of pain 4 years ago.
I used to have pain in my knees and my hip.
Taking it for arthritis.
Omega XL saved my life.
Then I started to realize, but hey, I can use my hands, I don't have any pain.
All in all, I am pleased to say that the Omega XL has worked.
And we're back. Thank you so much, Master Control. Joining us at this time is the economist, Dr. Indira Sajuan, who is no stranger to the Observer. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mikey. Thank you very much for having me. Happy New Year to yourself and all your listeners.
Thank you so much. A lot has happened since we've last, had a conversation here on the Observer. The world, many people are saying, have taken quite a shift. Mr. Trump is now officially the President of the United States, and he's in the White House, and of course he's doing quite a lot. When you look at the expectations for the economy and financial markets, Mr. Trump inherited a strong U.S. economy, while the global economy has shown some resilience, in fact a bit unstable. Trump policies are a bit complex, a mix. We're hearing about tariffs, and of course a lot of things being bandied about. What can we expect? Before we even mention the Dragon gas deal, what can we expect so far? I mean, in the first week, he's done quite a lot.
Well, I think Mr. Trump, what is happening in the world now really reinforces very strongly the old adage that the only constant is change. And governments, countries need to always be looking at the world patterns and anticipating any possibility and planning for any possibility. So that today it is Trump, maybe 2 years ago, there are many people, even 1 year ago, many people who did not expect that this reality could have come to pass, but it was always a possibility, and that possibility is now with us. Already we are seeing President Trump flexing his muscles. He's showing that I'm not just talk, I am action. And from the very get-go, he has started to make good on the promises and the pledges that he in fact made. And already the world is reeling from it. He has certainly sent a very strong message that I am not really interested in what WTO trading arrangements are, what the rules governing global trade is. I am the United States, and therefore whatever tool and mechanism is available to me in order to do that. And we see that reflected in his measure with respect to Colombia, where he sought to deport what he termed gangsters back to Colombia, and the Colombian government said, well, no, we're not taking it. And his immediate response was, well, I'm going to slap on some serious tariffs. And for people who may not, dear listeners who don't understand that, what that simply meant is that by that decision, you sell a lot of goods and services to the United States. If you do not accept these deportees, if you do not accept your criminal element back into your country, then I'm going to make it very difficult for your legitimate businesses to be able to sell goods and services into the United States, because I'm going to make it more expensive. So I'm going to slap on a 25% on whatever you are exporting into the United States, which will make it cost prohibitive unless the Colombian government retracted their position and basically bowed their heads to the will of Mr. Trump. That is something like that is only going to give him a stronger sense that he can do whatever he chooses to do, and therefore all other countries have to be very aware that this kind of approach is going to continue, and they simply have to follow suit unless they can be in a position to do different. We are seeing with Canada, for example, things that are exported from Canada, including energy, that is important to the United States market, and we have heard the Canadian government say, well, we will retaliate if you slap tariffs onto our exports. We will then in turn slap tariffs onto the things that the United States are selling into Canada. Yeah. But to what extent can Canada do that? Because it all depends on the extent to which it is dependent on that U.S. market. Because to do that, the repercussions on the Canadian industry could be so significant that they may not be able to afford to do that. And that's a Canada. So what about Trinidad and Tobago or St. Vincent or some of one of these small islands in the region? We don't have really any grounds on which to be able to stand up to measures like these that a Trump administration can levy on us?
Well, I think it was crystal clear today. Today was the first White House press briefing since Mr. Trump took office. And the press secretary made it quite clear that he has been given a mandate by the people who voted for him, that these are the results that the people of the United States expect. When we go to the polls, however, we expect an administration that is going to elevate the lives of the citizenry, that is going to look out for our interests. But we've seen so many things played out in this whole political drama here in Trinidad and Tobago. Just taking you back to May 2018, the finance minister, Mr. Imbert, in delivering the mid-year budget review said, and I quote, "The economy is turning around. In fact, it has turned around. Revenue collection is up. The non-oil sector is growing, and the energy sector is booming." We, however, have not been living that reality. And so it makes you wonder. I mean, Mr. Trump is doing what he has to do. Again, he has his mandate. He was given that by the majority. People said this is what we want. But here in Trinidad and Tobago, our politics seems to be playing out a lot differently. I mean, coming out of COVID, we basically have an economy that has passed the stage of stagnation. So where do we go, and what does this all mean when things are shifting and changing around us?
And you don't want to talk about the dragon, but really you've really brought the dragon into the conversation, because we are talking about a Trump administration in play, and we're talking about Trinidad and Tobago and the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. And you are correct, the economy is not in a good place. Yes, while we have had a smidget of growth in this last fiscal year, that growth has come largely as a consequence of growth in the non-energy sector, but not any parts of the non-energy sector that is value added, but rather in those parts of the non-energy sector, the trade and distribution sector, which means that we have continued to be really good at buying from the rest of the world and selling to ourselves.
Right.
And we know that we have a serious foreign exchange crisis. And these sectors that are growing are not the sectors that are generating foreign exchange. You know, within the non-energy sector, the only sector that is really growing is food and beverage. Other than that, but by and large, it is really the retail and the distribution sectors that are growing. And we see that is reflected in most of our conglomerate, most of what our mega companies in Trinidad and Tobago are more or less distributorships in structure. You know, importation of vehicles, importation of medicine, importation of food. Almost all of these things, they have different arms that are primarily in the business of importing and selling to us. And then when we look at the energy sector, in fact, since 2013, the energy sector has been on the decline because the country has been faced continuously with a shortage of natural gas. We simply do not and continue not to have the amount of natural gas that is required to maintain the demand of the existing petrochemical industries of the LNG sector, and therefore to meet the demands of our export markets. We simply have not had that. In fact, we are currently producing less than half of what we were producing at peak in about 2011. That is the reality that Trinidad and Tobago faces, which has meant that, I mean, in such a situation, you're left to do one of several things. You find ways in order to maintain that sector and find ways in which it could continue to survive. Or you diversify your economic base and your foreign exchange earning capacity, or you do a combination of both. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have unfortunately mostly done the first thing, which is to prolong the life of the energy sector. And the mechanism that the government has offered to us has been the bringing gas from Venezuela through the Dragon and I think it's the Mannequin, through those projects. Yeah. Right? And I mean, until very recently, that is what dominated the national conversation that was that was put out there by the government.
Yeah, but
that's what we're hearing. But that's in trouble given the current administration in the United States.
Well, exactly. Now, when you talk about options, again, things have changed. You have the new U.S. Secretary of State, which is Mr. Marco Rubio, who has made it quite clear that the United States does not even recognize Venezuela's government heads. He said the country is being run by a narcotic organization. There's a bounty on the president's head. When you talk about options, again, Mr. Trump is looking at those countries who may be leaning too heavily on China. He wants to cut China's expansion growth outside of China, what's happening with their policies and their programs. So have we missed out on the fact of not taking a look at the global trends that were happening?
That's where I started, Mikey. That's exactly where I started. Any astute government would be looking at where the world is going, looking at what the possibilities in terms of what could be happening in the next 5 to 10 years, and things in place in order to deal with that. If this government had been in fact doing so over the last 9 years, the extent to which we have put all our eggs into the basket of the Dragon deal would not have in fact happened. The OFAC, the license that we have with the United States, it expires in October of 2025. With the Trump administration in play, there is little likelihood that that is going to be extended. What happens to the Dragon deal in that scenario? We are seeing where Chevron, the American giant that was operating in Venezuela, has already said that it is not going to be making any more investments in Venezuela in response to the fact that there is a new player in charge of the American politics. So what is going to happen with the Dragon deal? After the budget, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Energy was telling us, just hold on, hold straight, 2027, everything was going to be all right because, the Dragon would start to dance, gas would flow. And even then, even if the Democrats had won the election, that date and that timeline was heavily questionable given where we are now and the length of time that is required in order to bring gas to market. But the reality is that they did not factor in what the reality is now, and that is an unfortunate thing. And in Trinidad,
and I think that's what's puzzling, Dr. Sadiwan. That's very puzzling because we are still hearing that our economic wagon is still hitched to this deal, and we're being told in 2027 it's going to bear economic fruit, and we're going to have something to harvest. We're going to have a better economy with money that we can use to make life better for the citizens. We are still being sold that dream.
But Mikey, I want to disagree with you because what I have noticed actually is that since President Trump has won the election, our government has really gone silent on the Dragon deal. In fact, what has happened instead is that political machinations is what has now dominated the conversation. We're no longer talking economy. We're no longer talking revenue or forex crisis. All of those things have taken a back seat to what is happening in the political sphere. A prime minister resigning and choosing the prime minister who will be there in his stead. The PNM possibly going to an election with a variation between the prime minister and the leader of the party. There's so much things. The opposition responding to all of that. That is what is occupying the national conversation, and the media is leading the charge. In my view, unfortunately, there's nothing that is reining us in and bringing us back to what is important.
All right, so then where are we going? And this is something I know many people who are locked on and who are viewing at this point in time are simply trying to keep their head above water. Whatever savings you had is definitely depleted. We're talking about a situation where the middle class has been wiped out. And all we're hearing is dreams, but things are playing out before our very eyes. People are able to access information. It just doesn't add up. 2027, doesn't add up. No Dragon gas deal. So what happens in 2027?
But let's not even talk about 2027. Let's talk about 2025. In this moment, there are so many businesses that are closing their doors because they can't continue to function. The rate at which professionals are leaving this country is accelerating. I mean, certainly, Mr. Trump's, President Trump's position with respect to immigration obviously could potentially, put a spoke in that way, but there are so many other parts of the world that our trained professionals can go that I do not see that is going to be a major damper. It may slow things down, but very soon you're going to see people finding other doors through which to enter into other places. And in the meantime, crime continues to go on unabated. I mean, a state of emergency is not a crime strategy. And if you can only boast that the figures are down within this controlled environment where you're giving extended powers to the police, but what happens when you remove it? It does not equate to solving the problem, And now we are just about to go into an election, months away, but instead of us talking about these important things and talking about how is this economy going to be dealing, given what we are facing with respect to the potential collapse of the Dragon deal. And mind you, Mike, I want to say that if anything can be done or whatever can be done to save it, should be done to save it. Because by all means, we need it. We need it with a desperation that you cannot imagine, because government has failed the country to put us on alternative trajectories. We do not have productive sectors like tourism and all the subsets out of that, like yachting and cruise, etc. We are not seeing growth in these sectors. We are not seeing growth in agriculture and the value adding in food production. We are not seeing a manufacturing sector that is buoyant and growing. In fact, what we have seen over the within this last couple of years, is many parts of our manufacturing sector actually closing up shop in Trinidad, moving to other countries in the island, and simply maintaining their distribution element in Trinidad and Tobago. We've seen it with Unilever, we've seen it with Nestle, we have seen it with quite a number of large companies. This is the reality that we face, and we need to engage not just in conversation, but we need to move into developing these strategies to move this country forward beyond just oil and gas.
Now, if it is that these things are not in our sights, and when I say not in our sights, I mean the powers that be do not see how important that we need to look at what's taking place, whether it be with AI technology, whether it be with the entire stock market, the whole global economy. If these things are not in sight and we're not putting anything as far as in place, then how far behind are we going to be left behind when everything is said and done?
We're already left behind. It's not how far will we be left behind. We are already left behind because we are not putting the priority and the emphasis on the things that we need to. And we all people of this country need to take responsibility for that, because we continue to allow politicians to distract us with all sorts of things, and we fail to hold them to account. You see, the administration understands, the American politician understand, when the people give me a mandate, I have to deliver on that mandate. And therefore, from day one, he's delivering on that mandate that was given. We don't have that here. We hear a lot of talk during the campaign, and then after the campaign, whichever party wins government goes along the business of doing whatever they feel like. The people's voice,
I agree with you 100%, because really and truly, the people must come to the reality that, listen, what you're telling me is not what I'm living. You are telling me, according to Mr. Inwood, we have turned around, the collection is up, the non-oil sector is growing, the energy sector is booming, but that is not what is matching to how we are living. We are simply not there.
Mr. Inwood may have tried to say that in 2018, but he could not have said that post-COVID, because the energy sector has contracted in every single fiscal year since then. It has contracted. It has not grown, so he cannot say it is booming. It is not booming. The only little upward glitch we had was immediately following the war in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia, when the price of oil and petrochemicals just skyrocketed, and we had a little benefit from that. Because we were producing more simply because we benefited from the fact that price went up. So no, that is I mean, I have not heard Mr. Mbe say that because he can't. He does in fact say that the non-energy sector is booming. But as I am saying to you, and you don't have to believe Dr. Sajuan, you can go to the review of the economy and you can drill down and you will see for yourself that the parts of the non-energy sector that is growing and booming are not the part that we need to be growing and booming. It's not agriculture. It is not manufacturing. It is not tourism. It is trade and distribution. And I want to really, really emphasize that to people. And, you know, we need to understand that you made the point earlier that the middle class has been wiped out. Right now, the rate of mortgage default is at an all-time high because people simply cannot afford to even have the money to pay their mortgage. That is the reality, and that happens when an economy is not growing, where opportunities for persons to be able to enjoy increased wages and salaries as the economy grows, for them to move up in terms of getting better and better jobs, is simply only there for a tiny percentage of the working population of Trinidad and Tobago. Most people have been working on wages and salary that probably predates 2014, and yet since then, inflation as a consequence of COVID, you know, wars, shipping crises, etc., has completely eroded our spending power.
And let me ask you this in a personal capacity. Parents who may have children studying abroad, you know, they're just about ready to graduate. Should they return to the shores of Trinidad and Tobago to seek employment?
I cannot advise them so, because when I look at the job market, I'm not seeing the jobs for them. There is not even the OJTs and the that used to be available, where government used to artificially create employment because government simply doesn't have the money to do it. So my advice has to be in this moment, because I am not in government, I am not there, you know, doing what I know is needed in terms of growing the economy. I am an analyst looking on from the outside and seeing what is happening. And what I'm seeing that is happening is that jobs are not being created in this economy. So if I were to say to young people, come back, what am I saying to them to come back to do?
All right.
Jobs are not available. Quality of life is not there. The crime and safety and security is not there. I am a parent with children, and it is a very difficult position that parents are in this moment. I'm a lot of professionals, Mikey, who are in comfortable jobs in this country right now, who are making decisions to leave the country and take a significant cut in pay because they have children and they want to secure their futures.
That was my next scenario. What would you say to that family members who, you know, they have an opportunity to actually leave the country and you know, pursue something in their field abroad? You know, if I were younger, if I were, you know, if I had less of a passion for this country, if I was more just thinking about myself and my own children, I would advise myself the same, Mikey. Well, what do you say to business owners who may be able to relocate and do their business, you know, online? I mean,
but I don't even think I need to advise those businesses, because we've already seen where so many businesses in Trinidad and Tobago have already done that. In fact, Bajans quarrel that most of the businesses in Barbados is owned by Trinidadian businesses. Businessmen are not foolish. Protecting their profits, protecting their money is what they are about doing. And they have already been removing it and taking it elsewhere. You know, we are not seeing the kind of proliferation of business activity, except in the retail area, that we need to be seeing in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. Final comments, go right ahead.
my final comments is, notwithstanding all that I said, I remain the eternal optimist. I believe we in this country have the human resource capacity, we have the know-how, we have the drive, and we have the energy and the love for this country to turn it around. But unfortunately, those who hold the positions of power don't seem to want to create spaces for those who can to be able to do. And unless we get to that point, the transformation that is required in this country will not happen. But we have to continue to hope that at some point in time we can have that kind of scenario taken place.
Thank you so much again for dropping by. Always a pleasure to have you on. Keep up the good work, and we're checking in with you periodically. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, bye.
Take a short break. We'll be right back.
For top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware. Located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Arouca. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water tanks, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets, blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or call 646-2144. Open every day from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland. Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable and innovative products, tested and proven by generations of professionals. Contact Provar Distributors Limited, 223-9438 to find a dealer near you. When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
The Excel brand delivers quality service.
I would recommend Omega Excel to everyone.
Take care of yourself, take care of your health with Omega Excel.
If Omega Excel works for me, it will work for you.
Over a period of time, I started feeling stronger in my knee where I could add more pressure.
Oh gosh, this place hot. And the AC in this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 Kane Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
And we are back. Thank you so much there, Master Control. We are back. And joining me is a man who, second time on the program. Let me say a pleasant good evening to radio talk show host Heavy. Good evening to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you, Mikey K. Good afternoon to
You feel, you sound as though you feel you're beat down. What's wrong?
I'm sorry, like I've had?
You sound as though you've had a tough one.
Well, I don't know, but another thing it sweet me like that, I have a lot of updates in my life, so.
I know how it is, trust me. Sometimes you feel as though the battle is not, either you feel it's not worth it or you're not getting anywhere, but it's not easy. And I want to start with that. I mean, there are some days that are going to be better than others, but what keeps you motivated?
I have to say my kids, I have to say my children, I have to say my love for my country, You know, I believe that this country could be a better country. You know, one of the best countries in the Caribbean, with proper leadership, proper guidance, people with bright ideas to move the country forward. You know, and we have been at the mercy of bad leadership for the past 10 years, incompetent leaders, and it's just making the country, you know, go down a dark place right now. And I hoping that this year, you know, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, well, the majority that is, open their eyes and do the right thing so that we can be back. We can try at least to go back into recovery mode. Right now, Trinidad and Tobago is on life support.
Yeah, we just had Dr. Indira Sajiwan on, economist, and I know she tried her best not to sell doom and gloom, but the reality of it just simply doesn't look good. You know, the major question is that the powers that be did not make the global economy a priority to see the changes and the shifting that was taking place, and started to put things in place that will either protect us or, of course, most importantly, help us be a part of this whole productive growth. But that didn't take place. And so where are we at now? And of course, I had to remind people that in May of 2018, it was the same Mr. Imbu, the finance minister, who said, delivering the mid-year budget review, that the economy is turning around. In fact, it has turned around. He said revenue collection is up, the non-oil sector is growing, and the energy sector is booming. Of course, that does not reflect the reality. I also want to talk on the issue of crime, because in November of 2020, the then Attorney General, Faris Alwari, and this was during the debate on the amendment of the anti-gang bill, he said, and I quote, "The number of gang members in Trinidad and Tobago had dropped by some 38% since 2018, and the number of gang members has been decreased by 57%. Gangs in 2018, the amount was 211, and it dropped to 129. The members of these gangs totaled 2,400, and it dropped to 1,014. That's a 57 decrease, according to the Attorney General at that time, Faris Alwari. Also want to remind, in December of 2018, that same year, the then Minister of National Security, Stuart Young, and he said this at a graduation ceremony for municipal police officers at Napa, he said that government and the police are united to win the war against crime. He said, and I quote, "All of the country's national security agencies are working more closely together." And he added that criminals should be warned. Touch one, touch all. Now we heard, you know, what I read there for you is that, you know, we heard about the economy, we heard about the issue of crime, but yet still, then what happened? There was a decrease, there were less members, then why is gangs still a major issue for the TTPS, and by extension, the people of this country?
I think all that what you have read there, right, there's no evidence or concrete proof to back it up. None. I don't know. I really don't know where to get the statistics from, but the reality, right, does not match what they are saying. So it has to be that either they are lying to us, or either they were getting misinformation or being misinformed themselves, right? All what you read there is, to me, that's just publicity. That is just that's PR. You know, to make people feel like, you know, or put the minds of the people in a better place, which is the roles and functions of most politicians.
Yeah, but there's a difference between, you know, public relations and addressing the people of the country to give them that sense of security. I mean, think about it. I'm sure when you heard it in 2018 from Imbu, many of the people who are locked on and say, well, what? Things happening, boy, things going to change. There's going to be a difference. I'm certain that people, when they heard about the anti-gang bill, they thought the way how it was sold to us is the all and end all. They know where the gangsters are, they know where they sleep, they know where they eat, they know all their movement. And then when you heard the man who is coming in to be prime minister soon saying that, listen, all security agencies working together, everybody in line, full amalgamation, total standing together, dealing with this issue, and yet still we have record numbers of murders. I mean, for the year so far, 29.
But so you have just answered the same. You have just answered your own self, right? Everyone's also good on holding up, and the gang numbers were dropping, and the murder rate was, and the what is in the economy booming and all these things. Why is we in this situation today?
And that's a major question.
Yeah, it's because I have to say they were lying to us. They were outright blatant lying to us. I, for one, didn't believe anything they say because I know that these people not in touch with the ground to know what's going on. And I'm saying to you, even if they were getting information from people on the ground, it's either the people were lying to them or they were just making a fictional story to come and tell the people, the public of Toronto, they're going to make them feel that they are doing something good or they are doing something right or they are working, right? But as far as I'm concerned, we're not seeing no kind of reward for what they are saying. We're not seeing anything. Matter of fact, it got no worse, right? So in my opinion, all those media reports and all those speeches and fancy words and, the numbers, it doesn't add up. The math's not matching. So quite frankly, what is happening in the country right now, and we can see it, we're facing it every day. Do you understand? We're in a SOE and it's like normal. It's murders. A man who got down in the middle of Port of Spain, broad daylight, right? Yeah. People getting murdered, cell robberies, car theft, everything is like business as usual. And we're supposed to be in a SOE where the Minister of National Security and the supposed to be Prime Minister soon to be, right, is saying, came out in a press conference and the reason why they're having an SOE is because of the guns and high-power rifles that are on the street and the gangs and all these things. But we're in a SOE, they extended till April, and we are not even seeing a difference with the SOE. So then what is all this about? They have no plan. They have no plan.
But the thing about it is that, all right, coming into office, it was said they had no plan. It was quite clear when they started operating that they had no plan. We are in an election year and we're still hearing that they have no plan. Then what is there to campaign on and what is there to gravitate to?
I think the PNM will campaign on dirty racial politics. They are custom. They will try to play with the emotions of the people by coming up. They will make up some big lie, like how to make up the email gate and scandal and all this other drama to make the opposition look like it's the worst thing, right? They will come up with some kind of scheme, right? And beat that. They will use the 1% media to sell it on the newspapers and on the TV shows and on the radio programs, right? And they want to push the racial agenda and race that all they have. They cannot come to the people with no kind of we call it like they did anything for the country for the past 10 years. They have no track record of showing that they have done positive to affect the lives of the people in a positive light. They have not performed. So they cannot come to say, well, we did this, we did that, we did that. Put us back in and we will do this again.
Yeah, but they have to be banking. They have to be banking on something heavy. I mean, with your experience and your interaction with, on the evenings, I'm sure you're getting a lot of different narratives and, people expressing themselves. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at it, there's absolutely nothing. I mean, we could have 1 million shows. We could have 1 million programs highlighting all of these things. There's absolutely nothing there. As a matter of fact, I invite people to come on this program and tell us exactly what has been done in some parts of Trinidad where the lives of the citizens are better. We have economists who says, listen, nothing has happened. Failure. We've had people who are criminologists and they have made it clear, nothing, failure, then what are they going to campaign on? And what do they expect people to gravitate to? A new leader, and that's it?
Mikey K, my question is, or my belief is that they have nothing to campaign on, so they plan to see the election. And that's my honest opinion. I'm saying my gut feeling here, right? If the PNM goes into this 2025 general election, they're going in with nothing on the table, right?
Right.
They have, hear what they have. They have the president in the shirt pocket. That is Speaker of the House and the Speaker of the Senate in the back pocket. That is the police commissioner in the right pocket, right? That the chief of defense staff and all these people and them in the pocket. And they also have the backings of the 1% finance, right? If we don't get foreign observers here or we don't get diplomatic observers here to oversee this 2025 election, and I almost forgot, also got the EBC in the pocket too. We need to have observers for this election, right? Or the PNM can see this election just like when we see the election in Venezuela, right? And that's the only way I can see they win in this next general election, because they have nothing to campaign on, my dear.
But that's
they have nothing to campaign on.
No, don't get me wrong. They have crime, they have poor infrastructure, they have poor education results, poor health care. So that's they have a lot. But the reality of it is that, again, what are the people going to gravitate to? When in fact there's absolutely nothing. Now when you see all these people jumping up after the screening process and wearing red and what have you, it makes you wonder that they are unaffected by what's taking place. And I'm certain that they themselves are trying to keep their head above water. So I think you made a very strong point. It's a matter of actually stealing the election because you simply cannot win it outright.
Correct. And to be honest, my kid, those people in the minority here, I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, and even people who used to support PNM, right, still saying that they cannot support what's going on right now. You know? They're saying that a lot of people, right, but we have the fanatics. Nobody can convince them of anything.
Right.
Right? But I'm talking about the right-thinking supporters who really don't like what Dr. Rowley's doing to the party. They don't like the choice that he made as a successor. They don't like how he's handling things in the internals with regard to the meetings they have in the Barrick Bay House. I think it's like a kind of high-handed market kind of approach what they're doing there. And then everybody coming out smiling and happy and saying Team PNM, one team. And then in another video in the anniversary, seeing it passing people shit and not shaking nobody, certain people hands and all these things. It is looking very bad as a PNM supporter to be seeing all this going on, right? And to stomach it. Yeah, we have activists like Julia Davy doing lives on Facebook and crying and boring down the place because she don't understand what's going on with the party. And all these things, you see, there's nothing good coming out right now inside the camp of the PNM.
And of course, we've heard that, he's asked for CARICOM observers. I'm certain they might ask for some, they might bring some other observers. But I think the key thing that we have to look at, the right thinking people have to look at, that this campaign, when it comes to handing it over to Mr. Young, and he picks up the mantle, and there's just a few months left, those few months may be utilized to vilify the UNC.
Exactly, but that is all they have. The only thing they can do is try to vilify the UNC and make the UNC look unattractive and not an option. That is what they're going to try to do.
Yeah.
Now, they are also doing something called they're doing an in-house screening, meaning that candidates that went up before, they're moving wrong and shifting wrong and putting new faces and all these things, right?
Yeah.
Right. That is to make the party look a little more attractive So someone will say, well, okay, I didn't like Hines, but this new fella, let me give him a chance. Because he knew, right? They move him, the wrong step down from the Martin, they put this new young, fresh, bright guy down there to make the party, look attractive, more attractive in the Martin. And it's in certain moves making a new guy in until he's over, and other new people are in the forefront coming up for screening, right?
Right.
So it's like a whole, they're trying to build a whole new party around Stuart Young to head into the 2025 election.
But
Heavy, to the people like this is like a new clean slate.
Yeah, but Heavy, how could it be a new clean slate? All right, so it's cosmetic, but we have to understand something. Everything we spoke about, even the fact that when Minister Imbert spoke about the economy turning around, Mr. Young was in the cabinet. When it is Awari spoke about the fact that there was a reduction in the membership of gangs and how many gangs, Mr. Stuart Young was in the cabinet. When Mr. Young himself said that the government and the police are united to win the war against crime in 2018, he was in the cabinet. When the babies died in the NICU, he was in the cabinet. When it is the alleged money is missing from the Auditor General asking these questions, he was in the cabinet. So again, what is there to sell except to vilify the UNC?
Exactly. They have nothing to sell, my DK. There's nothing they can go on.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for seeing that. I want to thank you for seeing that, because I hope now that people understand the seriousness of what's taking place here and what they intend to do. If it's a matter of buying time, they can't buy time to put anything in place for anybody at this time. If you didn't get it in the 9+ years, you ain't gonna get it now. So let's be honest. So it has to be now to go out there and vilify and demonize the opposition, make it look like the worst thing, with the hopes that their political light could shine bright. And that is very, very scary.
Correct.
Very scary. Any closing comments? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to remind people to stay focused. Do not be distracted by the distraction. They're going to come at you. They're going to try to sell you dreams. They're going to try to sell you rainbows and sunshine and everything else. Remember what they did to us for the last 9.5 years. Remember the gas raising. Remember the diversity pipe. Remember the crime, the murders, the home invasions. Remember everything that was done to this Twin Island Republic, this beautiful country, right? Everything negative that was done to us was done by this government, right? So stay focused, and we just wait for the election bell to ring so we can go and do the right thing and get rid of them.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And that was radio talk show host, Mr. Heavy. Don't forget, folks, Strong Heart is an all-natural omega-7 supplement that has been shown in clinical studies to be associated with heart health by supporting healthy cholesterol and inflammation levels. So pick up your bottle of Strong Heart today and, support your love muscle with Heart XL. When we come back, the lines are going to be open. If you want to make a WhatsApp call, 494-0938. If you want to make a direct call, 225-9790. What do they have to sell? I mean, I made it quite clear to you what was told to us. You heard the economist, Dr. Indira Satyawan, say, listen, there's absolutely nothing there. If there are children who are graduating in the US or whatever country and they intend to come back here, don't come. There's no jobs. There's nothing here for you. If it is that your business, you're under pressure, whether it be you have to pay all of these things and crime, it has you all wrapped up in it. Hey, if you could sell out and move, hop a plane, go ever, handle your business. Whatever the case may be, things do not look good here. Soon as we come back.
Chronic inflammation is important for so many conditions that occur.
I had a lot of pain 4 years ago.
I used to have pain in my knees and my hip.
Taking it for arthritis.
Omega XL saved my life.
Then I started to realize, but hey, I could use my hands, I don't have any pain.
All in all, I am pleased to say that the Omega XL has worked.
Oh gosh, this place hot and the AC in this car not working.
Check Ryanair. Ryanair is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 King Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryanair.
Thank you so much, Master Control. The lines are open, 494-0938. For those of you who want to make a WhatsApp call, if you want to call directly, 225-9790. And we're going to take your calls. What say you? I mean, you've heard The Economist, you heard Dr. Indira Satyawan, you heard Heavy, who is interacting on radio every evening with his program, talking to people, trying to get through to them. But at the end of it all, I have to ask myself, what is this campaign going to be about, especially on the PNM side? I mean, you're talking about some old wine and some old dirty bottle. Nothing has changed. So is it a matter of just saying, listen, we are going to go out there and vilify and demonize the UNC, make them look as bad as possible, whatever the case is, so we are going to have the edge when it comes to the general elections? I mean, we were told so many things, and these are things we can't forget. I mean, we just simply cannot forget as we head to the polls. Let me take this call, see who is on the outside with us. Yes. Pleasant good evening. Let me see, right? Yes.
But yet still we are hearing a different story from him, man. Everything is hunky-dory, everything is coming up roses.
Are we hearing him?
Moody report, they are saying that Moody is giving them a good rating.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me just hold on, Paul. I'll get you right back. Take a quick break there. Let's just fix this, please. Master Control. We'll be right back.
Iba. You know, persons would say, Empress, what Iba means? So Iba is a Yoruba word that means to give the highest praise. You know, like how some people will say Amen, Alhamdulillah, you know, everybody's. And Iba is an inspiration, a gift that was given to me by my ancestors to celebrate the divine feminine energies of this universe. You know, to celebrate our mothers, our grand.
Hey, thank you so much, Master Control. I think that first one was Santa Cruz. We'll try to get back to Mr. Tunapuna stepped in. Go ahead, Mr. Tunapuna.
Okay, Mikey. Boy, let me tell you something. After that revelation by both Dr. Sajiwan and by Heavy, you know, it paints a picture that is doom and gloom. It's hopelessness, helplessness, helplessness. There seems to be nothing on the horizon for this country. And no import, no business, foreign business, no foreign revenues, and businesses from here are leaving and going to other islands, as you mentioned, Mikey. But to add to it, Mikey, I remember Conmember just recently made a statement that the other CARICOM countries, based on the thing after the COVID and whatnot, they had to run to the IMF and what have you, right? And keep only said, you know, made that pronouncement. We would not be going to the IMF. But the IMF came here, we went to them, and we actually carried out some of the policies of the IMF, right? And then Conmember said that, you know, we don't have to go to the IMF, and because of the fact that we have buffers, the Revenue and Stabilization Fund, the Heritage, and you know, our foreign reserves and what have you. If we didn't have that, Mikey, because all they talk about is the last government squander the money, leave the country bankrupt and whatnot. And if we didn't have those buffers, then you don't have any import, any foreign exchange or any business coming into the country. What would have been our position today? Wouldn't we have to run to the IMF, Mikey?
Yeah, and I think about it, Mr. Tunapuna. We can talk about these things day in and day out, but the key thing here is after 9+ years, absolutely nothing. What are they going to campaign on, and what can we expect?
Mikey, you hear me, brother?
Yes.
Their main aim is this, that we have to draw revenue from taxation, find every means possible, traffic offenses, and all kind of ridiculous things to pauperize the poor people, put pressure on them. And then imagine, you want to implement property tax, but you are not concerned about the industrial and the commercialized businesses, but you're looking to tax the small people? I mean, what is really going on? And Mikey, to wrap up, all the foreign exchanges that was allocated to these big conglomerates who have now gone into investment in other countries at our expense, the poor people, we cannot get any. But these same people there who take over foreign exchange and go and invest it in businesses in other countries, where is the Security and Exchange Commission and all these so-called watchdogs? The financial intelligence.
Even the Trade Commission.
I know, all of that.
I mean, all of these bodies that are supposed to be protecting our interests is not there. We have monopolies. I mean, we have monopolies now, and nobody's protecting us.
No, Mikey, why ask you this? Look, just recently, you see now where Augustine Brothers Super Farm and they are buying over all the massive pharmacies and whatnot.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's a monopoly, a control of the pharmaceutical industry. You know, nobody is speaking out. And I find this thing is getting really ridiculous. The food importers and all of that. Yeah. Because the normal supermarkets are telling you, hey, we're not hacking up our prices because of it is the importers and them who are telling us and charging us more. So we have to raise our prices. So all these things, where is the regulatory bodies in this country that is responsible for trade and businesses and all these kind of things? Nothing is working, brother.
Nothing is working. Thank you so much, my friend.
Okay, my brother.
Nothing is working. Again, where are these bodies? I mean, we actually have monopolies. I mean, when you look at it and you ask yourself, but how did these things come about? It's really, really strange. I mean, honestly and truly. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can see you trying to get in there. Boy. So, all right, okay, let me make it a lot easier there for you. Because I know we're having a little challenge, but I think we've got it. Hello? All right, I think we've got it there. Yeah, I mean, and you're right. I mean, when you look at all that is taking place, it really makes you wonder, where are we going? I mean, we told all kind of things, the Dragon gas deal, all of these deals, and yet still, there's absolutely nothing that we can look forward to. All right, I think it's all better now. I think I have you there. Can you hear us there? Oh, there's two coming in at a time. Don't forget, we also have 225-9790. Got about 5 minutes, a couple minutes again. Hello?
Hi, Mikey. Good night again.
Good, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Right. Mikey, what I was saying is that how come they keep saying that Moody giving us a good report when we are hearing something different here tonight? Right? Is it because of our HSF money that they are going to be using that money all the time as and using it to do whatever they want and say that the economy is good? Yeah. We heard recently Impoters saying that they have because of finances, they couldn't pay people VAT. They are lying all around, Mikey. They are lying to the people. And you ask, what are they going to campaign on? But we saw it this weekend. He is going to say, call Kamala name right through, because he said Kamala is going to try to kill the dragon deal and Stuart Young from Loudly Harry Trace and Bilal. That is the agenda that he's going to push right through, Mikey. He's going to regurgitate all that he did from 2010 and come up because they have nothing to campaign on. You understand? And I don't know when it is people going to realize that they are lying to them. Mikey, and as Heavy rightly said, we will remind everybody about all the things that they did us for this last 10 years and remind them that should they get back into office, pensioners' pension will be up for grabs, and also they could go as high as 10% on the property tax. Councillor Mikey.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. That's inevitable. I mean, they may tell you now that they're not going to raise the TLTech rates or whatever rates or WASA rates, but that is just a matter of buying time. And I think that narrative is basically to see how tight they can hold things together in an election year. But the reality of it, and I have to ask again, what are they going to campaign on? There's absolutely nothing there. So what are people gravitating to? Are they doing a good job then in demonizing and vilifying the UNC, looking for all the kinks in the opposition leader's armor, Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, taking everything she says and trying to see how best they can stretch it to get political traction? And if that is taking place, are we the people who want change? Are we doing a good job defending that message from the political leader, defending what the UNC wants to implement when they come in office, or is it that you need more information? Because let's get down to it. If we're in the middle of a battle, we have to know what our weaknesses are and what are our strengths. And if it is that we are not focusing enough on the strengths, then we are going to appear vulnerable to our political enemy. They have absolutely nothing. Then why is there still a fear factor? Why is there people not saying, listen, you know, again, you cannot be having a battle or preparing for a battle and put yourself at a disadvantage. You don't want to be able to just go to the gym and look at the other person train, look at them getting the best diet, look at them getting the best supplements, look at them getting the best training, and just look at them. I mean, you have to do something to hinder them from becoming victorious. Something. You have to do something. I ain't talking like the skater girl who went and hit the next one over she knee or tried to injure her. No, I don't want above board, but there has to be something, some new dynamic, something that is going to make an impact so people can know once and for all that they're saying are lies. Have you been living any of the truths? Has the economy turned around for you? Have they arrested crime? Has the anti-gang bill done anything? Has there been a reduction in gang members? And if it is that they have no problem peddling their lies, then again, what are they going to campaign on? I want to close off here in a few minutes. So if you want to make your call, go right ahead. Again, 494-0938 via WhatsApp and 225-9790. You can call in and we will take your calls. Remember, it's the last Wednesday of the month, so we won't be here tomorrow. So we will be back Tuesday. We have a lot to talk about. Next week, we will be discussing gender issues. Mr. Trump in the U.S. made it quite clear there are two genders. There are people in this country who say we don't have the maturity to even have the conversation. We will, and I want you to weigh on it, of course, and other issues come next week. Well, that brings us to the end of our program. I want to thank you so much again. Folks, remember, the action has started. We're no longer observing. We are getting involved. You have to get involved. Otherwise, it would have been all for nothing. Until then, be safe. Have a good one. We're out of here.
The Observer.